All right, everybody, let me give you a rundown of the things that you should be working on in the near future. So, first key thing that is, I guess, required of you will be getting ready for experiment 1 that is in lab next week. So, if you're in lab this week, okay, when you did the safety training, we went through this, but here's your reminder. Experiment 1 is in your lab packet. You have to read it. The pre-lab video is in D2L content. You have to watch it. The pre-lab quiz is in D2L assessments quizzes. You have to take the pre-lab quiz. You need a score of at least 2 out of 3. You have up to 3 attempts to do it. And I recommend getting that done well ahead of time in case you need to email me to reset your attempts. I will generally do that, but pretty much only up until the day before your lab. I'll do that. So. Make sure that you're doing that well ahead of time, but that is for experiment 1, and that's the routine that we will get into for doing experiments every week. You'll check the calendar to see which lab we're doing, and you'll prepare for it with the video and quiz each week. Okay. I showed you a little bit about getting logged into Mastering Chemistry. You have until Monday, January 26th to complete the intro assignment. The intro assignment is pretty simple. You won't have too much trouble with it, so I recommend you get in there really quick and get that out of the way because we're going to start working on Chapter 2 today, so it would be nice if you were logged into Mastering Chemistry so you could start some of the problems on sig figs and scientific notation after today's class. So all of these dates are in the syllabus, in the calendar there, but I like giving you an extra reminder of those. Keep up with the reading. It would probably be best if you finished reading Chapter 2 by the next time that we see us. We'll spend all of next week at least working on Chapter 2, but get the rest of that read, get a little bit of familiarity with it. Remember, that's what will help things make a little bit more sense as we're working through them in class here together. So. Let's see, what else? Oh, D2L, several of you have introduced yourself in the discussions. I still have to post mine. I'll post mine pretty soon, but just introduce yourself. That's not a big deal, but remember, 1 post per chapter, starting with Chapter 2, is what your requirement is. You're required to average 1 post per chapter in the actual chemistry content discussions. So. I'll try to remind you of that as we go, but if you find something that you have a question about or something that you think would be helpful to your classmates, make sure to post those in the discussion boards. If there is anybody in here that did not come to lab this week, if you missed our safety training in lab this week, come and talk to me after class or send me an email. I have a makeup safety quiz and safety training that you can do, but you need to have the safety training done before you can actually do any labs. Okay? Something good to maybe just have on your calendar. Thursday, oops, wrong date, sorry. Let's get the right date. I just pasted that from last semester. Let's go to our syllabus. Bring up the calendar. You don't really even need to think too much about our first quiz just yet, but here, handouts. Good to have it on our horizon anyway. All right, quiz 1, Thursday, February 5. So, a couple weeks away. What that quiz will consist of is some names and symbols of common elements. So in chemistry, we have the periodic table of elements that everything is made up of. I have a list in D2L content of the most common of the elements. You need to have their names and symbols memorized. So in other words, if I ask what the name is, you should say what the symbol is. Or if I say what the symbol is, you should say what the name is. So that would be a good thing for you to get started on right away. Print out that page of common elements. And what's very helpful for students is to make note cards of those. Put the name on one side, put the symbol on the other side. You know, put carbon on one side and put C on the other side. Some of them are easy like that. Some of them are not so easy. Right? So start out with just a small handful of them until you get them, and then add a couple of cards in every couple of days, and in not too much time you'll be able to have those memorized. So the quiz one is going to have some of those. It's going to have some problems from chapter 2, like the stuff that we'll be working on in class next week probably. So again, not a big deal right away, but something to be aware of coming up in a couple weeks. Who has any questions about any of this stuff? Schedule or assignments or anything? Anybody? You good? Yes? No, quizzes are just, so it'll be just like 20 minutes or so at the start of class. The elements parts will be, I'll tell you a name and you write in the symbol. I'll tell you a symbol, you write in the name. The problems are just problems that you'll have to do and show your work. Okay. So we have 3 quizzes throughout the semester that are just sort of at the start of class, and then we've got 3 exams that take the whole class. So quiz 1 is our first kind of thing coming up. Other questions? Yes?
For the discussions for each chapter, if you reply to somebody, does that count?
Absolutely. Yeah. Assuming your reply is helpful in some way. So, yeah. So, yeah. Any post you make in those chapter discussions that has something that would be helpful to the class, that counts. Okay? Good. Other questions? Anybody? All right. So